This is an alert day.
And as the First Alert Weather Team has been talking about for a few days now, today is a First Alert Weather Day. This is a two-part issue here. Thunderstorms developing will be capable of producing heavy rain, heavy enough in a short enough amount of time over the city of Baltimore, the D.C. metro, to cause some flooding, particularly of the poorly drained roads and freeways and turn lanes and culverts and things like that. We're going to be watching those in particular as heavy rain, truly tropical downpours develop and move through parts of the metro. In addition to that, unfortunately, some of these storms will be producing wind gusts 55 up to 65 miles an hour, and with heavy rain at the same time, that's certainly enough to bring down trees, power lines, branches, and cause power outages. Some people still reeling with the impacts from severe holiday storms that we had, nearly a week ago. At this point, First Alert Radar right now, we are tracking showers and thunderstorms moving through, and we'll continue to be tracking these showers and storms moving through over the next maybe a handful of hours, I would say 3-4 hours, and then a bit of a decline as we get deeper into the evening. We'll give you a bit of a radar tour here, tracking showers and storms on the west side now that will continue to move off to the east. Right now, only one severe thunderstorm warning is in effect, and this is now crossing the Virginia state line, moving into far western Maryland. This will be southern Frederick County and including extreme northwestern parts of Montgomery County. This particular storm is producing heavy rain, but it's moving. Of course, that's good news. It's going to limit the flood threat with this particular storm, but also it's producing gusty winds, possibly up to 60 miles an hour. That's why we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the counties mentioned until 2:30. So in effect for about another 29 minutes, we will probably see many additional warnings issued. And we do have a flood watch in effect for the entire area. A severe thunderstorm watch is also in effect severe thunderstorm watch should be in effect. They're discussing the possibility of issuing one here within the next few hours. Again, no watch right now, but by maybe 3:30, you could see another alert to enter your CBS News app as showers and thunderstorms again continue to move through. So yeah, flood watch is in effect to all those counties shaded in our blue or green shading there, and that's in effect through early evening. So this is not just a 30-45 minute scenario. We're going to be tracking showers and storms continuing to move across the state, and they'll be moving slowly. So yeah, they're going to be moving, but maybe at times only 5 to 10 miles an hour. And storms could train or repeatedly move over the same neighborhoods, which is why, in particular, we are so worried about that potential of flooding. Case in point, this is up to this point this afternoon, and we're just starting to see storms really organize here already in parts of Frederick County, in and around Frederick proper. Nearly an inch of rain. This is in a pretty short amount of time, though. Inch and a half heading back towards Burkittsville and then off to the north and east of Frederick, getting closer to the Carroll County line, about an inch. Keep in mind, much of that fell in about an hour, and storms are just now starting to really intensify, and they're moving fairly slowly and moving repeatedly over the same neighborhoods. In fact, we can go ahead and switch you back over to radar and get the idea. Already an inch or two has fallen, and it's still pouring in some of these neighborhoods. And again, we're going to be back on Weather Computer 1, and we're tracking showers and storms moving off to the east with lots of lightning, heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. The only severe storm is well to the south and west of Frederick. Does not include any of our viewing area here at WJZ, CBS News Baltimore, but the storms nonetheless are heading in our general direction. So as we put a tracker on this, give you an idea of the direction and the speed at which it's moving. Howard County going to be the first to be impacted, but it is a ways away. So current timeline, current movement into Germantown, getting to Montgomery County, 2:39, Laytonsville into Howard County, 2:52, Lisbon by 3 p.m., Clarksville, 3:16. And we actually do have the First Alert Mobile Weather Lab out right now on the west side, and we're looking back towards the storm. You can see the dark clouds there in the distance. At this juncture, I-70 in Howard County, no rain falling. Wipers are not on, but you can see busy travel out there, both east and westbound 70 going to and from the city of Baltimore back into western Maryland. It's busy and storms are moving in. And once they're there, you could be driving in some of these storms for 30, 45 minutes, hour and 15 minutes. That's really going to slow down the evening commute, especially as everyone hits the roadways. And we'll continue to have team coverage through the evening commute. First Alert Mobile Weather Lab will be live team coverage as well in the studio as storms, what you're seeing right now on your screen, those ominous dark clouds in the distance, really do start to move into Baltimore City and Baltimore County. Seeing flashes of lightning there looking west on 70 westbound. in Howard County. And that's this particular storm as we bring you back to first alert radar, just to give you an idea. And we're seeing the lightning at such a distance. I mean, you can see the flashes if you were outside of the vehicle, probably hearing thunder there. And I want to give you an idea as to how far away that storm is from, roughly where First Alert Mobile Weather Lab is, 30 miles away from that most intense portion of the storm. And it is possible that we were looking at this storm as well in Frederick County, same vantage point. Even there, the closest storm still 20 to 25 miles away. And it's already getting darker, and thunder is already clapping, and of course lightning is already flashing out there. In fact, I'm noticing a new alert here coming in. This appears to be a flash flood warning because we were talking about heavy rain that has fallen in Frederick County, and it's still raining. So we're going to see a pretty rapid runoff of water, some street flooding. Yeah, flash flood warning is in effect until 5 p.m. Not a severe thunderstorm warning this polygon, but flash flooding. So your typical trouble spots, the roads and the streets that tend to collect water when it rains heavily in the summertime. Those roads will have a problem in many neighborhoods and communities today. Already starting to see a few issues there in Frederick County. In addition to that, though, south and west, this storm is, yes, producing heavy rain as well, but more capable of 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's why we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for extreme southwestern portions of Frederick County and western portions of Montgomery County until 2:30 in the afternoon. And it really is the evening commute that I'm worried about. The entire First Alert Weather team is concerned with as far as the city's impact is concerned. We're looking at a 4 p.m. moderate impact as storms just start to move into the city proper. But I think the worst of the weather for the immediate metro, 5 o'clock hour, 6 o'clock hour, that could linger into the 7 o'clock hour, especially east side. And then by 8 p.m. eastern shore and points towards, Delaware and the beaches. Worse weather there, but quickly improving. Could even see a little bit of sunshine before sunset here in Baltimore City after a stormy start to the evening commute. Another way to look at that timeline is by looking at forecast data here, and this is new data coming into the First Alert Weather Center. Notice as we go forward in time, 4 p.m., it's getting stormy. And notice how at 4 p.m., so, 2 hours, right around 2 hours from now, in Frederick County, it is still storming at 4 p.m., even though it's already storming now. So these storms are moving slow, and they'll repeatedly develop one after the other. So some neighborhoods could see 4 or 5 storms today. And notice by 5 p.m., not only the reds, but the purples. That's torrential rain moving through the metro. Most concerned about Howard County and Anne Arundel County as far as flooding is concerned. That's because these areas have been impacted most heavily by our recent storms. And basically everyone's yard and garden and the grass next to the freeway, it's all saturated. That soil, it can't hold as much water. So as rain pours down, it will more quickly run off. Today, increasing that risk of flash flooding, not only streets and roads, but also creeks and streams in places like that. Timeline, though, as we get to 7 p.m., storms will be over on the eastern shore. So if you have dinner plans, maybe a 7:30 reservation, 8 p.m. reservation, even 6:30 in the city, 695 neighborhoods, Beltway communities, it'll already be improving by then. But between now and then, weather is going to get rough, and it could be rough in any one particular spot or neighborhood for, again, 30 to 45 minutes. That's why we're here to give you the first alert, give you that heads up that, hey, we're already tracking showers and thunderstorms. Weather is already going downhill across a large portion of the area. And here's some traffic we're hitting. First Alert Mobile Weather Lab, and that's a downpour in the distance. You can actually see the wall of rain and first raindrop on the windshield. This is the First Alert Mobile Weather Lab. We have probably now made it out of Howard County and back into Carroll County, approaching Frederick County. And that is a wall of rain as we just stick on this shot for the next minute or so. Moving towards our photojournalist Judy, kind of manning the wheel out there today. And this storm, this is a sight so many of us are going to see as we drive home. First, just a few raindrops and then a downpour. Again, if you're just now tuning into the stream, this is I-70 westbound, getting into Carroll County out of Frederick County. Vivid lightning. You're seeing the flashes on that camera and a wall of rain. As you look in the distance, the pine and the trees kind of disappear behind what looks like fog. Not today, though. That is torrential rain, more moving towards the First Alert Mobile Weather Lab and also moving towards Baltimore City. Again, want to give you an idea, a quick timeline of these storms before we send you back to programming as to when they could move into the city. On First Alert radar right now, tracking showers and storms moving out of Frederick County and in the general direction of Baltimore. Could be in the city just before the start of our 4 p.m. newscast.